Winterborn and every wandering soul in between. Welcome to Hit&Miss.
At the center of the universe, a darkness stirs, but at its edge, a light doth beckon. And in these times uncertain or sure, who will save us now, the stars reckon. There were always two, one the breath of all things, whose whisper gave birth to fire, to form, to flesh. The other, a silence in which all things end, whose stillness unmade that which grew too long. They were balance, they were truth, and above all, they were strangers. But the balance is fragile. The dreamer stirs in her slumber, and the veil grows thin, and a voice whispers from the void, "Wake." Should the dreamer rise, should her song break the silence, then all shall be written and none shall be erased. Should the silence awaken, the song will cease, and all that is will fade into the nothing that it once was. But neither may stir alone, for when one rises, so too must the other. And so we walk this precipice, ignorant of the waking ones, ignorant of our fate. Will we guide the song? Will we silence the dream? Or will we do nothing and let the die be cast as they may? Today, the stars have no answer. Welcome, adventurers, to the wilds of Aeterna. The wind whispers through fractured ruins. Its voice carries the last sighs of a world long buried. Towering spires, now half sunken in dust and vine, stand like the ribs of some ancient beast, their jagged remains silhouetted against the violet hues of dusk. The air, as thick with the scent of petrichor as the lands are riddled with forgotten things. Beyond the ruins, the lands shift in broken majesty. The fractured continents, separated by not mere erosion alone, but by great, deliberate sundering, sprawl across the world like puzzle pieces that no longer fit. In the great capitals like Gania Cogna, Aventhyr, and Volomir, where banners still rise and thrones still hold rulers, the world marches on, oblivious to the past that groans beneath its feet. The written era and its collective have rewritten history in its own image, but the ink is still wet. Something stirs beneath Aeterna, something forgotten, something waiting. The source pulses at the heart of it all, a power neither divine nor arcane, but something older, something fundamental. Its influence shapes every spell cast, every thought formed, yet its true nature remains unknowable. To some it is a gift, to others a curse, and to the rare few, an invitation. But divinity, or commonly known as Cessarae, is not what mortals imagine. The gods are not distant rulers nor ethereal whispers in the dark. They are by definition celestial. The pantheon is the sky itself. The planets named and worshipped for their roles in the great cosmic order. Aeterna itself is among them, a god in its own right. Sleeping beneath the weight of its own history, watching those who walk its surface with quiet, unknowable intent. The moons, luminous and ever-present, are bound to their planetary gods, whispering their will across the night sky. The balance is fragile. The world sings a song older than history, and its melody is changing. A whisper at the edge of thought, a tremor at the core of existence. And so the tale begins, not with a hero's birth nor a villain's fall, but with a simple, unshakable truth. The past is never the past. The buried does not stay buried, and what is forgotten shall not necessarily be forgiven. The air crackles with the scent of something unplaceable. A mix of fried confections, alchemical fumes, and the unmistakable musk of sweaty ambition. Cirq-d'Pas, colloquially known as the not-so-bad circus, sprawls before you like a fever dream made real, a haphazard symphony of gaudy banners, flickering lanterns of color, and a cacophony of voices hawking wares that range from the dubious to the outright illicit. Beyond its gates, towering tents of riotous colors loom like drunken gods. Their peaks sway under the weight of enchantments gone slightly awry. Strings of mismatched lights pulse in irregular patterns, hinting that even the fabric of reality bends to the will of the circus, though not always willingly. A distant calliope grinds out a tune just a touch out of sync, its notes dipping between nostalgic whimsy and unsettling discord. This is no mere fairground. It is a battlefield of indulgence where fortunes are made, pride is shattered, and the night promises only one certainty. You will not leave unchanged. The various paths that stretch before from the grand promenade to anywhere and everywhere in the carnival twist and knot like serpents in the dark, leading to a mismatch of vendors and attractions, each promising something wondrous, dangerous, or downright absurd. Their stalls illuminated by floating lanterns and filled with the busybodies dashing to and fro. Children's eyes shine with delight at the marvelous fireworks which seem to dance freely in the evening sky as parents become unwound with the frothy round of pink ale and a plate of steamed veggies and tender meats at the Unicorn's Cafe. You are greeted at the gates by two animated gargoyles standing post on either side before a voice bellows from the belly of the big top. A curiously dressed man floats on high and addresses the gathering crowd.
Ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between, it is with my most gracious deference that I welcome you, one and all, to Cirq-d'Pas. Be welcome, be gay, and may the carnival now be open!
The carnival hums with chaotic energy, a whirlwind of movement, light, and sound that threatens to swallow anyone near. Annan, you approach the gates. Stepping carefully through the crowded thoroughfare, your eyes scan the vendors, performers, and drifters alike. Somewhere here is a survivor, a witness, or a hag themselves hiding. Tog was vague in his warning to you, but one thing was clear. As you can feel it intertwined with the chaotic hum of this event, this place most certainly holds answers. Beyond the towering archway of the carnival gates, two animated gargoyles sit perched on either side of the entrance to greet you, Annan. Their stone wings twitching slightly, their glowing eyes shifting to meet each other and the incoming guests, and despite their jagged stone forms, they are surprisingly lively. Annan, as you step forward, the first one, a thick, large-bodied gargoyle with a goofy grin and dull but kind eyes, greets you with a deep, booming voice. Hello, me Schmode. And just as his voice rumbles through the air, the skinnier, more angular gargoyle beside him immediately cuts in with a higher-pitched voice. And I, Schlitterbahn! Schmode gives an enthusiastic nod, holding out his clawed hand expectantly. Tickets, please! After taking the ticket from you, Schmode's stone face lights up with joy as he gestures grandly towards the carnival grounds. Enjoy Funnival. Inside his map of grounds, keep on track. Many shows. Ooh, like the weird and wonderful play and dance. Many games. Ooh, the devil's coin toss. And shops. Shops? Many. Spend all of your money. With that, Annan, the gargoyles fall still, watching as you step beyond the gate into the heart of the carnival chaos. As you enter the fairgrounds, you indeed do see a guide map posted on a notice board. Among the map are a number of other papers, posters, flyers, trinkets, and names even carved into the cork like graffiti. Mom, would you please describe Annan for us?
I am Annan. I'm a furborn. So goddamn old. My absolute main goal right now is to find my kid. But in order to do that, I have to find and destroy the fucking hags. I gotta find them, find my kid. I'm also a little bit peckish. And I've heard Giorno's Hearth and Crust might have some delicious food for me, because I can't go and explore when my stomach is yelling at me, because I can't really concentrate. So eat, then find clues and answers that will eventually lead me to my kid.
As you scan the notice board on your way into the carnival, you notice a few things. A, the carnival map. B, a list of events happening over the course of this evening. Lastly, Annan, you see a missing poster. The face is nondescript. The name is none that you've heard before. F-I-K, Fick. This poster means nothing to you distinctly, but as you stare at it, you're slowly taken away from this scene to a darker time in your life. And you zone out as images of blood and viscera splash across your view. Screams fill your eardrums, threatening to burst them. Behind all the violence, at the core of this madness lies your own face, grinning from ear to ear. But the somber look in your eye tells a much different story than what your mind conjures at large. And before you can process what is happening, a series of kazoos and whistles all bring you back to the carnival.
Tear escapes my eye, and I make sure nobody sees it. I am entering, so I have seen this sign in the missing, and I make note of the face so I can keep an eye out for the missing person.
Okay.
I think I'm going to still go to Bajorno's first. And from there, I believe I want to go to the Den of Divination.
Okay, cool. So as you walk, you pass by a series of vendors that range from delightful to disturbing, depending on your poison. You see all manner of faces and emotions. Along the main road, you cross paths with the likes of Whirligig's Whimsical Wonders, a shop of half-finished inventions, each item teetering on the edge of genius or disaster. Operated by Whirligig Bizfuse, an eccentric lowborn with a workshop as chaotic as his mind. This tinkerer's stall is a cacophony of clinking gears, belching steam, and sudden explosions. Customers might leave with a brilliant new invention or a contraption that catches fire at inopportune moments. Either way, Whirligig considers it a success. Incantations, the Tatulu parlor of Arston Karcher and Dusty Dustinson, two muscle-bound mid-born ruffian husbands who take their craft very seriously. Dusty is the artist, meticulous and brooding, while Arston is the salesman, quick with a joke but quicker with a fist. They claim their ink binds soul to skin. For some unlucky customers, that might be more literal than they had hoped. The Den of Divination, run by Dottie, an unusually old Turna-born woman with the stark white beehive hairdo. The smoky tent is packed with cheap crystal balls, questionable tarot decks, and the scent of too much sherry. Dottie is known to offer fortunes for coin, but truths for liquor. Her readings often punctuated with drunken cackling and unsolicited life advice. Bajorno's hearth and crust, a roaring stone oven, a cloud of fragrant steam, and a mid-born man with an obviously fake mustache all welcome you to the finest hearth pies in the unfair grounds. Bajorno, the self-proclaimed crustiest, serves up flatbreads topped with exotic ingredients from basilisk sausages to eldritch mushrooms that definitely don't make you see time sideways. His mustache, so poorly glued that it threatens to fall into the dough, is the worst-kept secret of the circus, yet no one dares to question it. Those who ask about it are often met with a stern, knowing stare and an immediate upcharge. And as you worm your way through the paths and all the different vendors, as you enter Bajorno's hearth and crust, you do in fact see the man himself with a fake mustache, whipping up a series of platters. There are a couple, plates on the counter that have like individual slices to be taken. You can order entire pies to yourself or private pies, etc., etc. But as you enter, he says, "Oh, looky here. I see you. Who are you?"
And I see you. I am
And
Annan.
it's me, Bajorno.
Bajorno, I would just like to say, your mustache is fantastic.
Oh, my thank you. Many thanks from you. It's a how you say, a long time grow.
I can tell. It seems like it would take some serious effort for it to look that good.
Every
It also
day.
smells amazing in here, and I need a whole pie.
A whole pie, all to you?
Sir, you see how big I am.
Yes, a big pie. Coming right up. And he starts getting to work in the kitchen. You see just a chaotic mess of ingredients flying out from the corners, of boxes being slid on the ground. And over the course of a couple minutes, right on the counter, slapped in front of you with a steam that rises from the box, a couple holes poked in the top. He says, yes, this is one of my finest. It'll be 5 gold piece, please.
5 gold, okay. Do you have anything to drink? Or is it just pies
do,
here?
however, if you go to Unicorn's Cafe, the Unicorn's Kitchen, they have this incredible pink ale. Highly recommend.
Okay. 5 gold, you said?
Yes, please.
Okay, and I just give you the 5.
Mushed out discount, and he kind of taps on his little register thing. 4 gold pieces.
Oh, thank you for the discount, Bajorno. I appreciate it. 4 gold to you.
Cha-ching! He says that out loud, and he continues to make other pies in the kitchen. Come back soon with friends, please.
I will, but can I ask a question? Because this is amazing. Is there some sort of secret to what
there's
you do
There's
here?
a record scratch, and all the attendees in the kitchen look at you, and he says, yes, but none shall know, but Bajorno.
Bajorno, okay. I appreciate it, Bajorno, thank you.
You work for Bajorno, you maybe know at some point, but not today.
Are you hiring Bajorno?
No.
Okay, well, I tried. I will see you later. And I take my pie and walk towards the divination.
And keeps walking out of the stall. On your way to the den of divination, you see La Petite Moor, tucked away in a velvet-draped corner. This infamous establishment is equal parts smut shop and whispered indulgence. Perfumed incense lingers in the air, mingling with the scent of well-worn pages and something decidedly more primal. Miss Cookie, the sultry reptiborn temptress with a voice like honey or hot wax and a tail like a whip, ensures the shelves are always lined with the latest forbidden tomes like Arcana Sutra, scandalous fiction like Whips and Ropers, and alchemical aphrodisiacs like Cupid's Arrow. Miss Cookie watches customers with the knowing gaze of someone who has seen desires far darker than the ink can capture. Regret or elation, Miss Cookie is here to serve her clientele discreetly. Haggle's Hall of Healing, a dingy but shockingly well-stocked potion stall run by Haggles, a fast-talking Gremborn with a love for bartering, and his assistant Beatrice, a charmingly polite mid-born woman. Haggles pushes minor potions with wild exaggerations, while Beatrice brews the truly dangerous stuff in the back. In the lobby, one bottle glows a little too eagerly when shaken. We see Obscurus Retreat, a stall of curious magic baubles owned by Tally, a devilishly handsome Diaborn merchant with an easy grin and an unsettling gaze. His shop sells low-level Sourcic items, each imbued with just enough arcana to be useful, but never enough to be safe. And finally, the Bizarre Bazaar, a grimy but lively shop selling teeth, fangs, pelts, and all manner of monstrous remains run by Doral, a cheerful, dim-witted cannon-born man who defers all business decisions to his talking ferret, Fawcett. Fawcett is the true brains of the operation, a fast-talking, no-nonsense hustler who somehow always gets the better end of the deal. As you move past rows of fortune-teller stalls and food vendors, a roar of excitement erupts nearby. A trio of young carnival goers rush past you, clutching posters bearing the likeness of an exquisite man, a half-born with Celeborn and low-born lineage. The eager fans push past carnival goers, giggling as they vanish into the sea of people. You hear them shout, "Nidarius is in the dressing room!" Another grabs the wrist of her friend, standing in the line for food, and pulls her along, screaming, "He's actually gonna sign things for us this time!" And your gaze follows their path towards a private performance tent, its entrance guarded by a particularly bored-looking carny. The sign outside is adorned with flashy golden script reading, "A Nidarius original, weird and wonderful show and dance, tonight only, presenting Nidarius, a hero's story." And you linger briefly on this moment, noting the steady stream of fans attempting to push their way inside. If there was information to be had here at the carnival, it's probably not here. Inside the tent, however, a different story unfolds. Behind a velvet curtain, a lavishly dressed man is applying makeup as he lounges in front of a large, cracked mirror. Connor, would you go ahead and describe your character for us?
Coming in at 4 foot 6-ish inches and 83 pounds with bright blue eyes, beautiful blonde hair, and most notably a fat ass. The most gorgeous little man you've ever seen. And he's gonna tell you, usually through dancing and shaking that fat ass around. That is mostly all you need to know about Nadarius. He's just a fun, goofy little guy. He likes to have a good time, and he loves when people look at him. He's pushing things down. He's just trying to push on the show, not let anyone know that he's really struggling. You know, he lived 100 years in his mom's basement, and he's just trying to make a life for himself.
And I think that is evident by the Terna-born stagehand of yours named Koi, who has recently brought you a package and letter. The package is, of course, a small pouch of something suspiciously illicit. And the letter, of course, from Xantina, from your mom back home in Cilici. But you do know the contents of that letter. And it's chaotic, to say the least. This is not the thought process you know and love your mom to be. It's titled and addressed by her, but it's not her, if that makes sense. And you know something to be off at the moment, but the show must go on. And as the letter sits half read on the cluttered vanity next to that small pouch, before you can take another sip of your tonic, before you can process the contents of this letter, the curtain bursts open and a group of overexcited fans rush in, nearly knocking over the now frazzled Koi. Please sign this, Nadarius! Oh my God!
Oh, it's so good to see you. My children.
And there's just this lovely scene of you just lapping up all this attention, blowing the kisses, writing the autographs, you know, drizzling a little like glitter all over everybody, kind of just brushing it off of yourself. And yes, the scene, Annan, does not hold your attention for too long. And just as you are about to move on, a crash rings out from the nearby unicorn's kitchen, followed by a slow motion, a black, furry body sailing through a glass pane and out of the kitchen's main window frame. A dazed-looking fella-born in a disheveled coat which billows sporadically lands hard on the cobblestone, grunting and groaning as he pushes himself up. From inside the stall, a booming, furious voice growls, "How the fuck is that for exclusive, you rotten man?" You see a gorgeous, tall, grim-born woman with tusks to match the energy of her intensity scowl from across the floor, and she moves to the bar, being high-fived and patted on the back along the way. The barkeep, chuckling, passes her a pink ale. She tries to pay, but the barkeep pushes the payment back to her side as she sits. Maddie, would you please describe your character for us?
So Salem, he's a male, felly-born, black cat. He's kind of going through it right now.
Dusting off glass from his coat.
You know, he's made a lot of impulsive decisions recently, and he's just not really certain what he's doing with his life. He thought maybe he'd found love. Maybe that could be his motivation, but yeah, right now I'm just kind of trying to find myself again. I've recently changed careers and made some big life choices that are not necessarily turning out how I thought they might have turned out. So I'm just kind of trying to find some normalcy in my life, like just to find something that feels familiar. So I'm probably going to continue trying to steal a little stall and scam some people while I'm at the carnival.
Annan, you watch as Salem dusts himself off, adjusting his coat with practiced indifference before giving the onlookers a lazy grin. The crowd murmurs in amusement, a few even cheering at the spectacle. With no sign of shame, Salem grins, adjusts his hat, and moves along, as if thrown through a window is just a part of his everyday routine. And as you continue on your search, it's literally not even mere minutes after this debacle that you see the exact same fella born again, now sitting at a makeshift 3-card shuffle table, luring in gullible carnival goers. You watch as Salem flips cards with sleight of hand precision, his smile widening every time a new fool takes the bait. And Salem, a person approaches your table.
Ooh, what is this? One of those fun carnival games?
And this is one of the oldest ladies you have ever seen in your life.
Ooh, I bet Reginald would love a prize. How much?
Oh, it's a steal. It's only 2 gold piece.
Ooh, it's a lot, but worth a shot. All right, here you go. And a little shuffle happens. Right card.
Wow, you're such a lucky lady. And I make sure that she gets the correct card.
You make sure she gets the correct card? Cool. She says, oh, wow, 4 gold piece, thank you.
My goodness, I've never seen someone with such immediate luck. Would you like to try again?
I shouldn't, but I suppose.
I mean, you're at the carnival.
Yes.
Let's have some fun.
Reginald's never won a game in him. I'd love to surprise him. It's not much, but tell you what, here's the rest of my life savings. And she drops a pouch of 500 gold piece on the table for you.
500 gold. You know I love a lady who lives on the edge. Let's give it a go.
Shuffle. Left card.
Oh,
Oh,
bad.
shit! Reginald's going to be pissed. Okay, don't panic, Betsy. Oh, I know. She pulls her boots off and slaps them on the table. Middle card. No, wait, right card.
Oh, well, let me see. Oh, so close.
Annan, you consider speaking up. But before you can, a group of security enforcers storm the table, scattering Salem's customers. Salem, you barely have time as it is enough to swoop up your earnings before darting off to the maze of carnival tents, laughing as the guards shout and chase you. And as Salem disappears into the chaos, Annan, your attention is drawn elsewhere, toward a quieter section of the carnival. Here, the air is filled with the sound of playful barking and the rhythmic clatter of juggling pins hitting the dirt. Benny, would you go ahead and describe your character for us?
5, 6, 7, 8. Willie is my common name, but my birth certificate does say Silas Willis. Just don't call me that. This is my lovely, talented pooch, Rennick. I've had Rennick since I was a wee lad. Yeah, that's right. We're here performing at Binky.
Cirq-d'Pas.
Just snagging some paychecks and entertaining the people with my good pal, Binky. He helps me a lot. We're attempting to make our way up to the big top event, and one day I know we will close this carnival out. Maybe once child labor is no longer in the cards. Thankfully, I'm easy for Binky to launch around since I'm super tiny. I also happen to be extremely young, and I'll be the first to admit that I have a little bit of growing up to do. I feel like quite the mutt, but the only thing I know for certain is that I'm reptiborn and part highborn. I don't know why I'm so small. Mother said my bones just ain't right. Anyways, I'm a bit flighty for a person who can't fly, and a bit naive and a little bit too curious, extremely distracted and slightly wild, but I'm also still learning who the heck I am because I'm only 19 and a half years old. I have a good heart, but my brain is clearly still developing. Rennick and Binky do a good job at keeping me out of harm's way since I'm always kind of unintentionally looking for it. Anyways, I left home because I wanted to go out and explore just a couple of years ago, and boy, have I explored. I never knew my dad because my mom kind of kept that information from me, but I had a tight bond with this neighborhood adventurer, and his name was Mighty Mason. He taught me everything there is about adventuring. I got into some shit putzing around, but who doesn't? And I'm just glad I don't remember all of it, or that could really be traumatizing. Anyways, thanks for coming to our show.
And at this smaller stage, Annan, Willie and his Loxaborn companion, Binky LaRue, are practicing their upcoming performance.
I love it.
Sorry.
So good.
Can we get one more? 5, 6, 7, 8.
5, 6.
This looks mildly entertaining.
Amazing.
Yes, and the act is impressive, but the murmurs from passing groups of spectators make it clear everyone here is a bit more excited for Nadarius' show.
Darn.
And you watch as Willie's expression falters for only a fraction of a second before regaining his confident demeanor. He gives his dog a pat, nodding to Binky before they continue their routine undeterred.
I throw a gold piece at them so that they have a little bit of encouragement.
I go backwards and grab it from behind, arch my back all funny. Thank you.
All right, so Annan, you're walking along, and you finally come up to Dottie's den of divination. And as you walk inside, there's smoke filling this room, and you barely make out the silhouette of a short woman with a massive beehive hairdo in the corner. She is smoking on a clove cigarette and drinking straight from a bottle. She has some glasses next to her, but she's just drinking straight from the bottle. And she says, "Hello." Hello.
Good. I'm here. Are you Dottie?
Yeah, my name's Dottie.
Hi, Dottie.
And your name must be... Oh, no, let me get this. Willie, right?
I am
No,
not.
Nadarius. Shit.
Also not.
No,
They're much smaller
he's
than I am.
the very famous guy I was putting on a show. Shit.
And she starts drinking from her bottle again.
It starts with an A, if that helps you.
Adam.
No, it's Annan. I'm looking for some information.
Hi, what kind of information do you need?
I'm looking for a person, actually, and the information is hoping to lead me to that person. I've heard that there is a survivor of hags.
Survivor.
Of hags.
Are those fairy tales?
No, they are not fairy tales.
I'm a psychic, and I've never come across a hag or seen a vision of hags. They're most you can trust me.
And she takes another swig of her bottle.
Have you heard any rumors, then, of a survivor of a hag?
No, but I'll tell you what I can do.
And she, come on, sit. And she sits you down at her table.
I'm not sure your chairs are sturdy enough for me.
Crack. Oh, shit. I should have seen that coming.
I'll sit on the floor.
Get it? Because I'm a psychic.
You should have. It's okay, though.
You didn't laugh. I wasn't sure if you got it or not.
We all sometimes miss the mark.
And she kind of angles you towards this crystal ball that she has in the middle of her table here. And she says,
all right, so, a big one or a small one?
The person?
No, not a prophecy. A vision.
Oh,
you are a big person. I'm a small person.
Give me a big one, then.
Oh, you want to straight for the big, okay.
And Mom, I would like you to go ahead and roll a D20. Your DC here is a 15. It's a 19, no.
You're good.
That's a pretty good roll.
She puts her hands on the crystal ball, and she waits for a second, and you think this is part of it, and she opens one of her eyes, and she says,
put your hands on the damn ball.
And you put your hands on the ball as well. And as soon as you do, like the Avatar state, she just lights up from her face and looks towards the sky, and her eyes go white, and she starts speaking in tongues and backwards until eventually she stops, disconnects her hands from the crystal ball. There's a little bit of smoke coming off the top of her beehive, and she says,
oh, I wasn't expecting that. What I can tell you is that the answers you seek lie here, where the truth isn't what it seems. Does that make sense? Did that translate okay? I can try it again.
Where the truth isn't what it seems?
Yeah, that's what the ball told me. Hold on.
and she goes back and grabs your hand and places it on the ball, and she does the exact same thing again where her face lights up and her eyes roll back, and she says,
I'm getting something.
She just comes out of it huffing and puffing, and she says one word,
Haggles.
Handles?
No, open your ears. Haggles.
Knuckles?
What? I didn't hear you that time.
Hackles?
No.
And she like points at your map to Haggles.
Haggles. Okay.
Haggles.
I should go to Haggles. Okay.
Go
I
to
appreciate
Haggles.
it,
Their
Dottie.
answers lie there, but they might not be visible. You might not see them. And you know what? Since that was a big prophecy, but you really didn't get it. I'll tell you what. I'll give you a small one just for free this time.
Okay.
And she pulls out a deck of tarot cards and she starts laying these cards. And as the tarot are pulled, a series of events occur. First, you see like the tower kind of signifying the carnival. You see some like fools signifying, people maybe like Nodarius that you saw on your journey here, or Salem even being thrown through that window. You see cards being pulled that very much match with some of the things that you've seen so far. But then there is another tower card. There's a second one. She goes,
Wait, there's not supposed to be two in there.
and next to the second tower card, the devil is pulled. And then there's a third tower card. She's like,
Okay, who mixed up my decks?
and after that third tower card is pulled, you see another one. This card being that of death. And she says,
Oh boy. Well, according to this poll, if I'm reading the cards right, something terrible is gonna happen here at the carnival tonight. Something like god awful.
Whoa.
Something like
Death
wow.
isn't always.
Oh god, this.
she's like quickly clears off the deck and she says,
You know what? How about you just get a run in there, scamp? You
Do
got
I owe
places to be, don't you? You know what? Don't even worry about it. On the house.
Okay. Are you okay? Are you?
No,
You,
but
not
that's
okay.
not your problem.
Okay. I'll go to Haggles. Thank
I'd
you for
recommend
the
it.
information.
Be safe, because there are 3 fucking tower cards in that deck, and that's not good. That's really not good.
What does the tower mean? I know what death stands for. What does the tower stand for?
Well, it's widely associated with, danger and crisis and sudden change, destruction, liberation, all sorts of things. Mostly bad, though. See how this one was like upside down? That one's a little bit better.
Maybe get your deck looked at.
No, I need to throw this one away. I need a new one. Hey, in fact, if you could help me out and give me another deck, that would be great. You really aren't supposed to buy them for yourself, so they gotta be gifted by somebody.
Gotta be
and maybe
gifted.
I can give you a little bit more accurate a reading. Like I said, I know, 3 tower cards deep and it looks pretty bad, but if you get a new deck, maybe there won't be as many tower cards, right? I guess unless suppose there was a manufacturing error that made it so there was all tower cards or something.
I am going to go towards Haggles first before I go visit the magic shop to see if they have a tarot deck.
So you start heading towards Haggles, and at this time, there are, Nodarius' show is beginning, and people are gathering around, and just adjacent to that main stage is Willie, Rennick, and Binky's performance that has a disproportionately small amount of attendees present.
I detour and I go to watch Willie and Binky's and Rennick's show before I go to Haggles.
You're
Willie.
missing out.
As you are performing, I need you to make a performance check with advantage, please.
Yes.
A 7. So
Okay, that's bad.
you step out onto the stage and you just see a lot of people's backs turned to you looking at the other stage. You see a handful of people, including Annan, who gives you like a friendly smile and a wave. And then, Willie, you see it. And you do that whole like blink, blink.
Boy.
Because at first, you see 4 people in the crowd that you recognize. And the words flutter across your mind as you see them and disappear from your mind as quickly as you open your eyes again. Amicus Curiae. For half a moment, you see them in the crowd, and when you open your eyes again, they are not there. Show must go on. And Salem, you are, finding solace somewhere inside the carnival, counting your earnings, go ahead and add 500 gold piece to your inventory.
These are real gold pieces?
Make an investigation check.
Okay.
It's chocolate.
Dottie comes around the corner and says before, that's chocolate, just want to let you know that's chocolate.
I mean, I rolled a 16, so is it chocolate?
On a 16, some of it is chocolate, but most of it, like, I would say about like 300 gold pieces worth of it is real coin. The rest is, chocolates that she had on her person or got from somewhere else.
She had 200 fake gold chocolates in her life savings.
Salem, you get the impression you are not the first person to have conned this old woman.
Well, I mean, if anyone was going to do it, I should benefit
And she's like
from
walking
it, right?
away. She's like, Reginald, I have some bad news.
It happened again.
And yeah, so all of these scenes are being set up. All of these things are happening. And Nadarius, you're putting on the show of your fucking life. Go ahead and roll for me a performance check with advantage as well, just to see how great this show is and how well executed it is.
Nat 20 on the first roll is...
Shut up.
Yeah, Nat 20.
Guys.
Nat 20.
You're 7.
Whoa.
He's pretty. Yeah, he's not smart.
I've got, I think I have 4 or so instruments on my person already.
Yeah.
So I was just gonna make them all come to life, and it's more of it's like a ballet. It's very conceptual.
People are going crazy for this show. People are shouting, screaming. There are people in Nadarius cosplay, surfing the crowd. And people are just having a lively time.
Wait, do I get any? Does anyone throw money at me?
Yeah, of course. Yes, of course.
I even got a pity
That's what
gold.
I'm here for.
100 gold over the course of the show is thrown onto the stage. And you were able to collect that up over the course of your performance, dying.
Also, it is important to note that this is a one-man show. I am doing this all by myself.
Definitely.
I'm wearing a lot of hats. I'm doing a lot of dances.
Annan, as you've seen enough of these shows, and you continue moving on to your quest, you move through the carnival, observe its performers, its con men, its distractions, but you haven't found what you're looking for, at least not yet. But as you turn a corner into Haggles, something unnatural shifts in the air. The calliope, singing just out of tune, falters for a moment. A flickering lantern suddenly snuffs out as if something had passed too close to it. In the distance, a carny stumbles mid-step, turning pale white as he backs away from a shadow lingering at the edge of the tents of the circus here. Something is watching and waiting. It's only a matter of time before it slips into the light, but before you can act, a person, donning quite an embarrassing suit of fur made to look like an owlbear, breaches the tree line screaming, "Hey, I'm a monster over here!" And he begins chasing giggling kiddos around the promenade square. But just outside of the carnival, a group of children and teens explore the forest nearby. The carnival lights flicker in the distance, casting faint red and gold glows against the thickening trees. The sound of merriment and laughter drift through the crisp night air, muffled by the towering oaks and underbrush. 5 children. Talus, a boy of 16, leads the group, gripping a half-burnt torch he swiped from a fire dancer's stand. Milo, his younger brother, clings nervously to his sleeve. Reka, a wiry girl with a daring grin, skips ahead, flipping a stolen carnival knife between her fingers. And Oren and Dell, the last two, whisper conspiratorially, both eager but cautious, their breath visible in the cold air. "Come on, Milo, stop dragging your feet," Talus huffs. Why are we out here?" Milo whines. "The carnival's inside, not out here in the dark." "Because," Reka smirks, spinning her knife. "I heard from one of the carnies that weird stuff happens out here. People go missing." "That's stupid," Oren mutters, shoving his hands into his pockets. "You just want to scare him." "Oh, I don't need to scare him," Reka grins, eyes flicking at Milo. "Milo scares himself." "Shut up!" Milo scowls, stepping closer to Talus. The wind shifts. The trees creak, not with the groan of wood, but something wet, like a slow exhale through hollow lungs. The torch flickers in Talus's hand. The air tightens, heavy and damp, like stepping into a fogged room. The scent of iron curls through the branches, sweet and pungent. Milo tugs on Talus's sleeve. Do you smell that? What? Talus grumbles. Like pennies and rot. Reka stops flipping her knife, her grin faltering. Maybe we should head back, Orin starts, then something moves. Not in the bushes and not in the trees. The shadows between the trees shift, sliding, pulsing, as if the darkness itself was liquid, bleeding against the bark. A wet inhale, like something gasping for the first time. Who's there? Talus calls out, gripping the torch. The light dims. A red mist seeps from the shadows, curling like tendrils of smoke, moving against the wind, and then, from the thick, pulsing black, a shape steps forward. At first, it's just a silhouette, vaguely humanoid, but taller than any of them. Its limbs too thin, its head tilted too far to one side. The torch flares up for a brief second, casting light onto the thing's form. Its skin not visible, but something translucent, fluid like liquid suspended in glass. Veins slither beneath its semi-transparent flesh, pulsing, twisting, feeding into its hollow core. It has no face, only a faint impression of where one should be, as if the blood in its body remembers where it once had eyes and a mouth, and it stares at the children. Then it moves. Not like a person, not like an animal. It flickers, blurring forward like a skipped heartbeat, covering half the distance in a single second. Milo screams, "Ah!" falling backwards. Talus swings the torch. The flame touches the thing's form, and for a fraction of a second, its veins recoil as if feeling the heat. But then, it opens. The thing's chest cavity splits, unfolding like peeling flesh, revealing a void of shifting red tendrils, veins, arteries, something writhing. Its arms split down the ulna, separating its radiuses into two new conjoined limbs that branch off from the original. Talus tries to scream, but the sound doesn't leave his throat, because his own blood begins to rise, escaping his skin. His veins blacken, his body convulsing. He drops the torch and the fire is snuffed out. In the darkness, the others see only the vague silhouette of their friend twisting and writhing and then collapsing into nothing but a wet splash on the ground. Milo chokes on a sob. Orin and Del turn to run. Reka throws her knife, but the thing snaps forward, catching her wrist in a clawed grip, breaking it in half. She screams, but the moment the sound leaves her mouth, her jaw locks, her muscles twitch, and then her skin collapses in on itself, as if she was being hollowed out from the inside. The creature drinks her from within. Her body sinks to the forest floor, deflated like a popped balloon. Orin and Del are gone. Milo still stumbling, sobbing, tripping over roots. The creature does not chase. It doesn't have to. It knows where the real feast is waiting. It turns, stretching, shifting, its form dissolving into mist, sliding between the trees towards the bright lights of the carnival. The screams from the woods fade into the distance. And soon, the only sounds left are the faint, echoing cheers of carnival goers, unaware of the horror moving towards them.